Hello and welcome back to another episode of Best of 3. If this is your first time watching, it's a fighting game show here presented by The Daily Dot. I'm your host, Efren Salinas. With me as always is Michael Danke Schiller wearing a very snappy shirt. And our compadre from another madre, Ray Chun. What's up, buddy? Hey. Today on the show, we have a very special guest. You may have heard of him. The first man to 13-0 somebody in a first to 10, Dominique SonicFox Mclean. Dominic, are you there, buddy?
Yes, I'm here. It's
hey,
good.
Man. So we're going to bring you back later in the show. We just wanted you to pop in and say hello. As I understand it, you're playing Mortal Kombat as we speak.
Yes.
So I don't feel too bad about coming back to you because it looks like you'll be occupied. But, Dominic, we're looking forward to asking you some questions about what happened at Summer Jam.
No problem.
All right. So with round one, again, if this is the first time you watch the show, round one is usually news. News from the week. And why is there still an image of bearded Ryu behind us? Well, of course, that's because the DLC costumes came out.
I'm growing out my bearded Ryu beard.
Oh my God. We have our own future bearded Ryu cosplayer here. Day one of beard.
Oh my God. Like hot Ryu's trending on Twitter?
Exactly, man. I mean, DLC costumes. Again, in a move that surprised no one, Capcom has announced costumes. They were a huge hit. I mean, we don't know the numbers, but I suspect they brought in quite a pretty penny with all those DLC costume packs. I know I bought a lot of them, much to my wife's chagrin, because basically, as she pointed out, I'm buying dolls for my Barbies, right? It's what it is at the end of the day. But dadgummit, I want that new dress. So that's why I got all of T-Hawk's costumes. The new costumes that came out, we have them here. These are, depending on who you or where you pre-order the game from, you'll get these costumes.
Yeah, so we got, so far they've shown Ryu, Bison, Cammy, and Chun-Li.
Mm-hmm.
But Bison and Ryu both have beards.
Bison and Ryu have beards.
Cammy looks like Jack from Jack and Daxter.
I hadn't seen that, but yeah, I see it.
And then Chun-Li kind of looks like Chun-Li.
Chun looks like, I was complaining before the show because it looks like one of the outfits that she had in Street Fighter 4 DLC. But of course, Ryu is probably the breakout star as far as the DLC costumes go. In fact, I have the image that we had here at the top of the show. Look at Ryu in all of his glory. Isn't that a beautiful thing? But my question, are those trash bags that he has wrapped around his hands? What's that all about?
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so enough about the talk. I'm excited. I might even change my pre-order just so I can get the Ryu skin. But the big news that dropped today is that another fighting game legend has been given wings. We're talking about Bonchan. He has officially been signed by Red Bull. Look at him there, wearing his Red Bull paraphernalia, cool Red Bull shirt, and there with his Red Bull cap. Part of the press release that was released by Red Bull had some interesting quotes from him. One of them saying, of course, Red Bull Kumite, which was that awesome event in Paris where they had that cool cage match. He was a part of it. If I'm not mistaken, he won it. I have to go back and double check that. But he said that as a result of that experience, he knew that Red Bull was the organization that he would want to be with. It looked like they were courting him as well. And as we all suspected, here we go. He's been signed. What I thought was interesting is that he wants to use his position now as a sponsored player on this legit sponsor to help the newer generations, help the up-and-coming generations, the new generation of players. Mike, your thoughts on helping?
Was there context to that exactly? Like, get better, get sponsored?
I'll read you the quote. As a Red Bull athlete, I would, of course, like to win a lot, but I would also like to be the role model for the younger generation of gamers in my community. I had wanted to become a professional gamer for the longest time, yet struggled to find the right fit until now. I think that struggle itself made me grow as a gamer. So to me, that sounds like I've gone through the trials and tribulations. Let me show you the path.
Now, I definitely could be wrong about this, but from what I know from friends of mine and from Ryan from last week, is that in the Japanese community, it's definitely a little less like celebrated probably to be a professional gamer, despite the fact that they seem to be so much better at these games and have bigger communities. A lot of the time, due to their work culture, it becomes more like, oh, you're playing games, you're staying at home, you're not working super hard all the time. So I think this guy living the dream ends up being maybe a big deal for the other people trying to do the same thing in the country.
And specifically the younger generation,
yeah.
Right? It's like, hey, I want to do that too. Ray, how do you feel about it? I mean, you were just in Korea for quite a while, getting your game on and playing with, Infiltration and Punko and all these other guys.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on, helping the next generation?
I mean, I think that's great. Like, he's doing what he loves to do. And I feel like a lot of the older generation parents are like, you shouldn't play your games. You should study. It's seen more as a reward. But here for Bonchan, you see a man that works really hard, that goes to all these tournaments, and it doesn't really seem like, he's paying out of his own pocket. He's not doing this because, like, he has to, but he wants to, and he wants to show everyone how much fun he can have, like, going out to these things. This is what competition really is. And if you want, like, the best experience out of everything, you need to go out. And I think this is just a great example.
It's funny because you see a lot of people and they're there. They've made it. And you're like, dang, how do I get there? You know what? It takes work. You got to get there. You got to climb that mountain. But moving on, one of the things that happened over the weekend, not Summer Jam yet, we'll get there, was PAX Prime in Seattle, Washington. And of note for me, of course, were two things. One was Armika was on display. Two was the Smash at PAX tournament, and we're going to talk about them in that order. First, let me pull up. This is from Chaos Gaming's YouTube channel. Chaos Gaming was there, and he got the direct feed of Combofiend bopping fools. And here it is behind us.
I have to give it up to Capcom. This actually got leaked, I believe, like the day before PAX or a day or two before PAX by some magazine. And they just announced it that day, and they had it at PAX, and people were still just as excited. Instead of kind of freaking out about it or, like not continuing to reveal characters, they just took it in stride, and I don't think anyone thought anything less of him for it.
It sucks because I guarantee you that was a bad day for the guy on that PR team at Capcom. It sucks as you plan these things out so far in advance. I tried my damnedest at Evo to try to get some information out of Matt Dahlgren about upcoming character reveals. Absolutely not. I said, embargoed. Yeah. I won't share it. No, they don't share that. So when it leaks, it sucks for them. That being said, it's a testament to the excitement around it, that people just want to know.
And Armika is definitely a character. She was one of those characters that was on every list. Either they're on it or they're not in it, but everyone had a huge opinion on whether or not she was going to make the game. Her and Karen and Charlie. And so you're really seeing those characters kind of make their appearances.
Speaking of huge opinions, a lot of people have had opinions on Armika's, if you don't know that she was already in a Street Fighter Alpha title, her appearance might seem fan servicey. Might seem inappropriate. She is a wrestler. She's I think like a high school graduate or college grad wrestler, Japanese wrestler at that.
Her idol is Zangief.
Her idol is Zangief, right? And that was the comparison I made. I was like, yes, she's scantily clad, but her idol wears a Speedo, right? So, is there an argument to be made? Maybe. It's a video game. It's not, it's on top of that, it's a Japanese-made video game where there are different proclivities and different sensibilities when it comes to sexuality and things of that nature. So I think she's cool. Combofiend is using her to great effect here. I think this is a round that actually he doesn't finish, but
everyone who was there said she's pretty awesome. Valle was saying she has like the craziest mix-up he's seen in a Street Fighter game in a long time. She seems really fleshed out and unique, which is one thing I've really loved about Street Fighter V so far is that the characters are really different from one another.
Speaking of how different she is, Ray, you were telling us about Nadeshiko, who I think you might be smitten with, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think she's way better than Armika, but this character has an interesting V trigger where she calls an assist that comes from 3 different directions. Mm-hmm. And right there, I think it's interesting. One is that a character has an assist, and 2, a grappler has an assist. Mm-hmm. Grapplers usually have trouble, finding a way to get in.
Right.
So what this does, in my opinion, is it gives her so many more options to utilize to make the game scary up close, to cover her defensive options and offensive options, while also, closing that gap in so she can go in there and do the damage.
The other thing that she has that I think is super cool is busting out the mic.
Oh, yeah, the mic.
And it reminds me of that one Thor taunt where, the longer it lasts, like he's like building meter the entire time, if I'm not mistaken. Her attributes get buffed as she's on the mic. Mm-hmm. She has 1 hit of armor, and I think it's also projectile. She tosses it if you let go of the...
It's a really short range, but, the main thing is it's supposed to just, knock him back so you can safely get in there, not take too much damage, not too much of a risk.
Any final thoughts on Armika? First real grappler in the game.
I guess so. You had Birdie. You have Nikali has kind of a grapple-y engine. I think they're really trying to differentiate the characters from like these giant roles they had before. Like it's not just the grappler; it's Armika.
Mm-hmm. So again, what you're seeing behind us, go to Chaos Gaming on YouTube and check it out because he's the one that uploaded it, and you should give him love. Doing the world a favor by posting that to YouTube. Moving on to Smash at PAX. Now, I'm not the Smash guy here, but I do love a good blow up. And as I understood it, Leffen had been getting the upper hand on Mewtwo King for quite a while. Can you break that down for us, Ray? I know that there was. Wait, let me point this out too, because I love giving love to the community here.
Yep.
There was a dude on the Smash Brothers subreddit, Pikachu942, who put out this awesome breakdown of every time they've fought each other, like their whole matchup history and how it went. And Ray, talk us through that. It's pretty interesting.
All right, so thank you again, Pikachu. We have starting off in Apex 2012, where Leffen is this guy that's trying to rise in the Melee community. And Mike was talking earlier about Melee has always been a game where there's these 5 players that are known as the gods of Melee.
Right.
And it's just, they play against each other. They're the only ones winning these tournaments.
I think there was like a couple years at least where they only lost to each other. Right.
But in 2012, this is the first time that Mewtwo King plays against Leffen, and Mewtwo King just sweeps him.
Sweeps him.
Yeah. And then the article goes on to show that over the next 3 years in these tournaments, Leffen loses to Mewtwo King just either 3-1, 2-1, 3-0 sometimes. And, you know, Leffen, as a Fox player, just can't find a way to get around his Marth. So
that's right. I have a quick little
and
clip
Marth
of that.
Fox is like it's generally considered to be a somewhat even matchup, but on certain stages, Marth can chain grab Fox
Okay.
to kill percents. So
Now,
Final
as
Destination, I
the
believe.
non-Smash guy on the dais here, talk me through what a chain grab is.
a chain grab is like a
I've seen the Ice Climbers do like a wobble thing where it looks like
that's an
grab.
infinite grab
Yeah.
combo where they literally you cannot do anything to get out of it. Marth's chain grabs are a little more like read heavy or reaction heavy, where sometimes you grab, sometimes you grab, attack, grab.
Okay.
It all depends on the situation, but basically Marth can combo. It's just a combo with grabs in it.
Got you. Okay.
Fox to kill percents.
Spoiler alert, you're seeing the results here of how it went down. This is Marth versus Fox, Mewtwo King versus Leffen. So again, if you hadn't seen it, I'm sorry, but Leffen lost.
Right.
He got 3-0'd. What's the equivalent of getting 3-0'd in Street Fighter terms? Put it in old man terms for me.
I mean, yeah, getting swept, getting three.
Getting like beat on or getting
Yeah, getting
perfected?
peed on pretty much. Like, I guess as opposed to a perfect, they have like 3 stocks, 4 stocks. So
Yeah.
you have a certain amount of stocks in a Smash game. And if you're to win with more than one of your stocks, you normally kind of dominated them is how it would be considered.
I'm intrigued by the fact that there's only like this small pool of players. Is it that they've just been on the top for that long and it's just like people are still climbing that mountain? Or is like nobody putting in the work anymore? What's going on?
There's a few reasons. It's a really technical game, definitely, and I think any Street Fighter player would admit this more so than any Street Fighter game. So there's a wall, at least at the beginning, that's solely based on technical skill, where these players just do a million more damage and convert their combos way better than you do. And then at the next level, I mean, a lot of the guys at the top are definitely taking this as their job, whereas the Smash community probably has a bigger group of less serious players. But I mean, it's a testament to them that they're that amazing. Yeah.
What were the prize payouts for the tournament?
So
Ray?
Twitch sponsored $10,000 for this tournament, and about $3,750 went out to each main game, Melee, and the newest one for Wii U. And the team tournaments, respectively, had about $2,000 in each of those. So, I mean, Mewtwo King walked away with $1,750 for getting first place and $0 for the Wii U version.
Right on. That's not a bad weekend.
So
Oh,
yeah,
not
I mean,
at all.
the last thing to note there would be, I mean, though Mewtwo King dominated Leffen started beating Mewtwo King, and then Mewtwo King had all these hand issues, and he kind of dominated him this week. So it's kind of a weird turnaround that I think no one expected.
There was a video, if I'm not mistaken, of Armada that came out showing all the button presses that he does and like
Yeah.
the crazy
Yeah, that's,
hands
popular.
it makes. So I can see how you could develop hand cramps more so than somebody who plays
It's been
League
an
and does
issue
squishy stuff.
for Mewtwo King. It's been an issue for another Fox player named Hacks.
Mhm.
Especially like, I mean, Mewtwo King said he basically refuses to play Fox anymore, who's the most technical character in the game, just due to the fact that it hurts his hands.
Dang. This GIF you're seeing back here is from the VG Bootcamp Twitch stream. Support VG Bootcamp. They do a lot of cool
Oh
stuff.
yeah, they do a lot of good stuff.
So, moving on to what I was watching over the weekend, because I was salivating, chomping at the bit, wanting to see that first to 10
Are we bringing in the kid?
was Summer Jam. So, before we bring in the kid, Summer Jam, let's talk about any of those term results. Was there anything of note? Ray?
Oh, there's a big one that I think a lot of people slept on in Asia, Hong Kong, Capcom Pro Tour.
All right, this is the Capcom Pro Tour Asia was the other tournament that was happening. What were the results on that? And by the way, people are sleeping on Infiltration. Is that what you're about to say?
Oh, yeah,
I don't think
man.
anybody's sleeping on Infiltration.
Infiltration walked away without a loss.
The entire, like a round or a
Like,
match?
as far as I know, the whole entire match, the whole tournament. He did not lose a single match.
We have a clip of it, but we're gonna
like 2-0 or 3-0 to everyone.
So, but we're trying to get to Summer Jam. So on Summer Jam, what were the Street Fighter results on Summer Jam?
Summer Jam, that one was Dominion taking that one, I believe, over Snake Eyes.
Over Snake Eyes. We're talking about Red Bull sponsored players trying to get points for the Capcom Pro Tour. That was a ranking event.
Yes.
And as you said, Dominion took it. Okay. What I was really watching Summer Jam for, we're about to bring in the kid, was the first to 10. There was at least a week's worth of shit talking back and forth between none other than Mortal Kombat X champ, SonicFox, and legendary Mortal Kombat player, Perfect Legend, calling each other out, speaking on each other's behalf. Oh, I'm SonicFox. I only complained to NetherRealm Studios, and they patched my characters, things of that nature. So the money match went down. It was a $100 money match. First to 10, SonicFox versus Perfect Legend, exhibition match. Dominic, SonicFox, Mclean. Are you there, buddy? First of all, let me just start off the top. What do you think about Ryu's beard?
Pretty flashy.
You like that? You like that look? No. Yeah, I mean...
I like Armika a whole lot more, so...
Would you like Armika to have Ryu's beard? Just kidding. Anyway, moving on. The real question is, how did you feel, before we get into the money match, how did you feel when somebody like Perfect Legend is talking trash on Twitter and calling you out, or that kind of stuff? What goes through your mind? You're like, oh God, this OG guy is calling me out? Or
And where's your hat?
Well, my hat is upstairs, and second, I'm just like, well, looks like it's time to put you in your place.
Dang! So when you got him, you start reading those tweets, you're like, yes, you're feeding off of it? Is that like spinach to you, or what goes through your mind?
I was just like, PL, I hope you know what you're getting into. With all this shit talking you're doing, like, I am so ready to body you right now.
The question I have is, you guys have talked like plenty throughout. I mean, there's been a lot of Twitter debates between you two. You guys have obviously played in tournaments before. And I've seen it go from angry to friendly all the time. Like, what is your relationship with Carl?
It's like neutral, I want to say. Like, he does DM me a lot, but for the most part, just neutral.
Dang, he's getting DMs left and right. What's he telling you on those DMs?
I hope you have fun. This is for hype. But I'm gonna body you. I'm like, oh, okay.
So that seems friendly enough. But by this point, Summer Jam just this weekend, you've already won the ESL tournament and made your name for yourself there, 60K. You won Evo, another 30-ish K. This is from Mortal Kombat X.
Yes.
You've won Injustice in the past. Again, you're the one to beat. When this guy calls you out, do you feel like you have anything left to prove, or are you like, let's just have fun with it?
I actually didn't have anything to prove, but like he kept running his mouth, so I had to show him I have the 13-0 you. Well, 10-0 you, and then like he made excuses, and I had to 13-0 him then.
So I'm sure most people already know the story, but for the people who don't know the 13-0 kind of joke going around, why was it 13-0 as opposed to 10-0?
When after I popped off, after I won 10-0, I told him, kept telling him he kept making up excuses, so I asked him what's his excuse now. Which, sure enough, he did make another excuse, and it
Remind us what the excuse was.
I would have bodied Katana's a bad match for Kung Lao, and I agree that I'd body him Aaron Black. And I was like, really?
So wait, let's just fill out some of the details here. It was a character lock money match, and you were with Katana that entire first to 10, and he was with Kung Lao the entire first to 10.
It was it was a 2-character lock, because we look at variations as completely different characters.
So fair enough. Okay.
You were only allowed 2 characters, and I was only allowed Aaron Black Outlaw and Royal Storm Katana, and he was only allotted Tempest Lao and Buzzsaw Lao. And I never had to switch off Royal Storm, and you know why, but that was the agreement.
But the thing is, Perfect Legend is very good at this game, and he has proven that he's very good at NRS games. What are you doing that nobody else is doing? Why can you not be beat? I mean, it was a 10-0 before the pop-off / let's do another 3-0.
Well, first is recognize when I'm outplayed to begin with. Because the moment I realize like somebody's better than me, I will get stronger. So after like when I lost Forever King at Summer Jam twice, I was just like, I have to get stronger. Like I just have. He's like now, because like he took out DJT and like DJT and I looking at each other like, what? We're supposed to be the best. And it's like people are just running over us now. So this game is like there's like now 5 people that can like be the best MKX player right now, and Forever King so happened to be one of them. So I acknowledge that he's better than me, and then I start training for him, and I start getting better, like how I trained for DJT at Summer Jam, and I frauded my way to victory because of glitches.
Yeah, I saw that. Can you? I saw the glitch where Tremor's projectile just whiffed. Like, can you explain that? Or
it's making contact with the interactable in the background, and it's as if it's hitting the card, but not me. So because that happened once, when he had all the momentum, it immediately shifted, and he died for it. I was like, well, that sucks.
Now, Sonic, I mean, there's people who have a lot of respect for the game and take it very seriously. When you were approaching that 10-0, I saw you doing a lot of teabagging, doing a lot of the ducking rapidly. I mean, you were really...
Because it was free. Like, more to say, it was free.
So, but that's the question. Like, how do you feel when you're in a position like that? Yes, obviously, you made it look very free. There's nobody's denying that. But do you at all feel like I should have respect for this guy? I should, take it seriously,
or
are you
did
like?
You see what he was
this?
saying? Come on.
I know exactly. But I want to get in.
Well, it was PL, so no, I shouldn't take it seriously. I told him prior that I was gonna body him. So what did you expect?
If it had been another player, maybe like somebody else from Critical Response.
If it was like DJT or somebody else, you wouldn't have seen any of that. In fact, it maybe the closest the setup would have probably been like 10-9. But not PL. I told PL specifically I would body you. I'm not like any other player. I don't know what mindset or how you think I play, because I don't play how you think I do. And sure enough, he went into the game thinking like I don't block, thinking that I just like I'm bad fundamentally. I'm just like, well, you're gonna get bodied now. So
now
I was actually gonna mention that was a big kind of joke for a while, was the whole like no fundamentals thing and the set play only play. And I got to play you in Unio. We had a really close match at NEC. And obviously that wasn't true. Where do you think that came from? Is that just Perfect Legend being salty? Was that other players saying that? Like where does the...
So I think I want to say it originated in Injustice when I picked up, when I was literally the only player that played Batgirl. But like I personally always believed that she was the best in the entire game. And therefore, like she was a 50-50 character, and she had a vortex, and that's all she did was vortex. She did have. However, she had to get a hit first because like her neutral is kind of like but like she like 5-5 everybody for the most part 5-5 or 6-4 people. But I didn't believe she had one bad matchup. So when PL started like trying to come up with counter picks and stuff, like he would just get outplayed in the neutral, put himself in the vortex, and he was getting tight saying, oh, all I know how to do is play 50-50 characters. When I was just like, well, I mean, Batgirl, that's what Batgirl does. But I know I can beat him fundamentally because it also came from when I played Sonya, who I guess is a set play character for MK9, I guess. So she's like heavy pressure, it's just like she's heavy rush down. It's like you have to guess in order to get out of her pressure. Like similar to how Carmine plays. But he started saying I have no fundamentals. All I can do is put people in 50-50s. I can't actually play the game. And I was like, well, no, that's not true. I just play my favorite character in the game. And I just so happen to be really, really good with them. So then he said, when MKX comes out, that's not going to be happening. And he started making excuses when I started using Aaron Black, saying, because Aaron Black is a 50-50 character, but not in the sense that like, oh, I'm going to keep looping it, because that's just not true because of how many variables there are. He's more of like he knocks you down, and then like they both have to make a read. Like you can either wake up and blow me up, or I can like read that you're not gonna wake up and go like for a command or overhead or low. But then I wanted to prove him wrong, and I picked up Katana, who doesn't have any 50-50s whatsoever until she has full meter, where her X-ray is a 9-frame overhead, and so I can like put him in a 50-50 where I do like a string into a low or a string into the X-ray, and she's mainly just played as a zoning and lame character. So when I picked Katana, picked up Katana, I looked at PL. I was just like, well, what are your excuses now for losing to a character that actually has no 50-50s and it's only supposed to play neutral game? So that's where pretty much all that came from.
Have you watched the replay? It's on Team Spooky, and that's what we
Yeah,
have playing
so.
here. You've watched that replay?
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching it, you see in between the rounds, they'll cut to PL, to the shot of you guys, the player cam, and PL is just like sitting there.
Stunned.
Is that what it is? I was going to ask you, what's your opinion on what's going on through his mind? He's just stunned.
Mind fucked.
Tell me how you really feel. Tell me how you really feel.
I know there's certain moments in a game, and that's why I'm very, very, very dangerous when I'm playing people. If I realize that you're mind fucked, it's like it's over. And he was mind fucked within the first two matches. So when I realized that, I'm like, oh shit, you're fucked.
Well, okay. They announced we had the Kombat cast just the other day, and they announced a slew of patches and updates to the characters in the game. Right off the bat, what are your thoughts on some of the changes that are made?
They messed up. They messed up bad.
Tell us why.
So like I love how my characters finally got buffs instead of getting nerfed. So Katana got a couple fixes. Aaron Black and my favorite variation, which is actually Gunslinger and not Outlaw, it got buffs. So now it's actually I believe it's almost as good as Outlaw. I still think Outlaw is better because of the better access to armor moves, but that's all literally Gunslinger is missing to become just as good as Outlaw. However, they messed up a lot of things. Like, for one, there's a glitch with Tanya now where if she puts you in Pyromancer, if she puts you in the Dark Shroud and then grabs you, you lose 32% instantly. There's also there's also glitches with run cancels all across the board. So like certain characters can't correctly combo. Like Devorah still can, but it's like other characters can't because of what they've done with the R2 button. They buffed Quan Chi when he was already considered like a top 5 character, so now he's pretty much the best.
What did they give to Quan Chi?
6 frame down 1 when he didn't need that. So now he actually has a poke, and so pretty much
gotta up his defensive options a lot.
Yeah, now he has defensive and offensive options. So now like anybody can they took what they did to Shinnok in the Tremor patch and gave it to Quan Chi. So now Quan Chi is gonna become the scrubby character that everybody's gonna pick up. Like I can tell from now because like the only way you won with Quan Chi is that like even though his set play was really 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 dumb, you still had to it's like Baka, you still had to get the hit, and his defensive options were pretty weak, but his set play was really 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 strong, like the best in the game. You can get like 50% looping and you're dead, like Batgirl did. Except this game is followed by rounds, so you can die quickly. So with Quan Chi now, it's just like, okay, now I can actually contest your pokes instead of being slow. And then the moment I get that poke, I can put you in the 50-50 instantly. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of like the Batgirl issue. Because like I'm not gonna front. Batgirl did the exact same thing. Like it's different when like more than 50-60% of the cast can put you in like mix-ups that are like you have to. It's like really really hard to block, and like in Injustice, more than like half the cast already did that. Now, like in this MKX, only Quan Chi really does that, and it's like you have to go from like overhead to low 1 frame blocks, like blocking Doomsday, but it's like you gotta guess between low overhead or overhead low 1 frame switches, and it's really hard. And if you get hit, you lose like 40%. You just have to do it again. So I don't know what they're gonna be doing with him later, but like I already know he's gonna get nerfed. But I'm not complaining because I can still fight Quan Chi. I just not a minority as a poke, but that's fine.
Now, did you want there to be a patch and it just went wrong, or did you think the game was fine before? Like, let us know a little bit how you feel about the patches in Mortal Kombat and whether there should be more to fix this and how you want it to go down.
I did want a patch, only to buff the lower tier characters. Literally, like I felt like all the other characters could have did the exact same. They just only needed to touch the variations that weren't being used, or like characters that were bad, such as Jackie. And I fully agree with what they did with Jackie. I love what they did to Goro. I love what they did to like different variations of like say like even Gunslinger Aaron Black. It's a better variation now. However, they did go OD on some of the characters now, like Kano. now he has an EX buff where like it makes any one of his strings plus on block, and if he cancels it, like a hit confirms into a string or puts you in a 50-50 because of it, you'll instantly lose like 50 to 54% of your life instantly mid screen, no matter what. And you have to guess on the 50-50, and he can do it again, and then that's the game. And I was like, wow, you guys are kind of crazy.
Ray has a question, but we have a couple of questions from chat. But Ray has one for you before we get to him.
Yeah, so Sonics, just like with every MKX patch, people want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? But this time, I want to ask you specifically about the tweet you tweeted earlier that you're going to play Sub-Zero and Takeda. So I want you to elaborate more on that and any other characters you think are worth digging into.
Well, I was messing around with Chiromancer earlier. Chiromancer and Unbreakable. I mean, they're fun, but like in my opinion, I think Sub-Zero is a really, really, really easy and uninteresting character. So we're gonna like pass out on learning Sub-Zero. But Takeda, on the other hand, is really, really interesting because of his setups and pressure, and I really, really enjoy what he can do. And he has a lot of really dirty stuff. And I think he's way harder, but he's more rewarding. And I really just enjoy his playstyle. Like, I would have used him earlier, but like, especially Ronin, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
And Takeda's always been like one of those lower tier characters. Do you think you agree with that?
Yeah, but now he's like, I personally think he's like top 5, top 10.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They over buffed him, but like it's not
Classic.
over buff where it's like, oh no, you guys messed up. It was like, this character's scary now.
Sonic, we're getting some questions here from the chat. One of them is, I guess you already kind of touched on it, but post-patch, you already talked about Takeda and Sub-Zero, but who are you zeroing in on? Who are you going to play now?
I co-main Outlaw and Gunslinger Aaron Black, but now I'm gonna be touching on Ronin Takeda. I'm gonna be picking back up Shotgun Jackie because I liked what they did to her. I mean, that was the only variation of Jackie I used, but it was still like bad.
Sonic, I have to ask you, pal, are you playing Mortal Kombat live as we interview you?
Yes and no. I had to test something real quick while I was on my mind when I was playing interviewing. I was like looking at the roster and like, you know.
Hey, speaking of fighting games, right? In general, we know that you're a big fan of so what the hell is the name of this anime fighting game?
Skullgirls?
It's not anime, it's cartoon.
Cartoon, okay. Skullgirls.
Not anime.
One thing I find impressive before we talk about other fighting games is that you strike me as the kind of guy that just because you're playing Skullgirls, more people will want to play Skullgirls. And it's a game that kind of peaked already a while ago. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that notion in particular? And how do you feel about Skullgirls in general?
Well, Skullgirls is my most favorite fighting game in existence right now. I enjoy how much stuff you can do with it, but the community is growing huge, and I've been like telling everyone on Twitter, hey, play Skullgirls, it's amazing. The only reason the community hasn't grown is because people haven't actually given the game a try, and the newest version yet. Because the way the game was in 2012 and now, it's like, it might as well be like a sequel. All the mechanics, many different mechanics, new characters, new stages, all this new stuff. And a lot of the old scrubby stuff is all gone now, and nothing's really done. And all the characters are really, really, really good. Like, the lowest tier that game goes is like A tier. And like everybody else is just like, it's like S to A tier, and that's it.
Now, I know at some point you were doing like tutorial / like lab sessions for that game. Are you still doing those?
Mm-hmm. The Fox School. In fact, what do you call it? The creator, Mike Z, he actually got the class notes as a background. It used to just be an empty chalkboard, but now he wrote the Fox School in the background of the chalkboard.
Dang.
Oh, that's cute.
That must be pretty validating and feel pretty cool. Speaking of other games, you had a pretty big year so far. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you've already cleared 100K in prize winning. Is that true?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us the total, how much you've won this year?
I'm not entirely sure.
I've lost count.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll just like say a solid 100K.
Yeah, solid 100K. So it looks like next year is going to be a big year for Street Fighter V. Mm-hmm. Is that a game that you're going to jump into? Is that something you're interested in playing? People want to know, is SonicFox going to play his first non-NRS or American-made game to a degree?
I'm gonna be jumping into Street Fighter V. I really enjoy how Nash and Armika are looking right now, especially Armika, like way more than I'm enjoying Nash right now. I can't wait to try her out. Hopefully they'll put her in the beta, but she's really, really interesting to me right now, and I really want to play her because one of the characters I play in Skullgirls was inspired off of her. So I imagine they'd play similarly.
How do you feel about the Capcom fighters versus the NRS fighters?
It's like comparing I want to say apples to oranges. Like we could if we wanted to, we could potentially compete in their game, but like they'll all at the very end of the day they'll always be better. But it's like vice versa. If they wanted to compete in our game, at the end of the day they can become really really good and top players, but they won't be the best. Like somebody who plays NRS games only will be the best, and it's fact. It's been proven many times. We've tried to go over to Street Fighter, we get bogged, but like it's vice versa. So.
True. I mean, but then there's guys like Alex Vai who says you should play every fighting game, and
Yeah.
it'll help you. It'll be like a multiplier, right?
I agree, which is why I play like every fighting game.
Yeah, we actually had a question in the chat. I forgot who asked it. Oh, Master Guaha, if I'm pronouncing that right, wants to know about any future plans for Dead or Alive and your career here.
Not entirely sure yet. There's one of those games I've been putting on the back burner. I haven't really been playing it much. I'll just let my brother dominate that. I do know he's better than everybody, so I'll just let him.
You say obviously, but I think a lot of people don't know actually
Yeah.
about your fighting gaming brother. So can you elaborate a little on that?
Yeah, my brother is the best DOA player in the world right now. I'm invited to a worldwide exhibition, similar to how like ESL was, but it's in Japan, and he won the whole thing with single elimination, and he won the whole thing. He's been winning many majors. He's the highest that there is. So.
Now, did you guys practice that game together? Have you practiced other games together? Like, what's the history? You guys are both top fighting game players, and yet you don't seem to play the same games. It's very interesting to watch, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. You cut out for a second. You just repeat that. I guess my Skype must have.
Oh, I was asking. You guys are brothers, and you're both fighting game players at the very top level, but you don't seem to play the same games at this point. Did you ever practice the same games together? Do you now at any points? How exactly does that go down?
He's trying to pick up MKX. He's a little struggling, but yeah, we practiced DOA many times because we both grew up playing it, and we might catch on to Tekken 7 together.
Cool, man. When we spoke to you at Evo, you were saying that the game you wanted to play was Killer Instinct. Where are you on that?
Also on the back burner, I'm just slacking off.
I think you also said you're going to play Gears of War or something like that.
No, Gears of War, no, I never said this.
some other game that you wanted to play, and now you have finally had a break. But let's get real. This is a real question right here.
Mm-hmm.
How was your second day of your senior year of high school?
It feels like I've been there for like a while now. It just feels like I've been in school already for like 3 or 4 months. It's like, oh.
do people at your high school know that you won 100K playing video games, fighting games this year?
Yes, people just keep walking up to me like, "Oh my God, you're SonicFox. You go to our school." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." They actually do pay attention. I'm like, "Oh my."
That's cool, man. But Sonic, there's one thing I want to bring up, and I talked to you before the show just to make sure it'd be cool. RCappa. Somebody posted on RCappa a picture that you tweeted, and I'm going to put it up here. This is a picture, and if I remember correctly, you said, a great picture of me and my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody on RCappa posted and says, "This is your hero, RCappa." Of course, at the time, everybody's still excited about what you did to Perfect Legend, right?
Yes.
And all the comments underneath were extremely positive in your favor, saying, "We love this guy. Anybody who can 13-0 somebody in a first to 10 is somebody who has my respect." I wanted to talk to you about, normally this wouldn't be a question we'd ask, but I mean, you wear the furry stuff, your sexuality is out there and a part of your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something important to you that people in the fighting game community know, that your fans know, and how did you arrive at that decision?
Well, I mean, for everything that's obvious, I always go out in the whole gear. I make it very, very apparent. People actually, but my sexuality isn't as apparent. People think I'm gay, and like that's not true. I'm actually
Okay.
bisexual, and
Okay.
that's why I have a boyfriend. But when people go around saying, "Oh, I'm gay," I'm like, "Oh, that's not true." But I guess I can reveal it now. Yeah, but guys, I'm bi, so. I mean, there's nothing much more to it. It's just kind of like it is what it is.
But have you had people, for instance, come out to you and say, what you're doing, the way you carry yourself, your public persona has helped me in my life, or anything in that? Have you? I mean, I would imagine like at Evo, somebody would come up to you and thank you for something like that. Has that ever happened to you?
Well, only online, really. Like I had many furries say, "Well, now I'm really like happy to be part of the community, knowing somebody like you exists, being so open about everything." People do enjoy what I do, so and like how open I am to everything. So I guess yes, people have done that before.
So we we shared our interview that we did with you at Evo to the R Furries subreddit on Reddit, and there was a ton of support there as well. And people were like, I'm not sure whether to be really proud of this guy or to be super scared of how violent the game that he plays is, implying that there's a discrepancy between the philosophies and lifestyles of somebody who's a furry and this ultra-violent video game that you have excelled at. Where do you feel about that?
Well, like I said, I grew up playing MK, so like I'm desensitized to it already. So all the violence. So I mean, sorry, but no more to tell you. I like the game a lot because it's very interesting, but I don't like it because it's violent. I like it because it's fun.
And I mean, unless you gentlemen have any more questions, the last question I have for you is about your sponsor. What can you tell us about your sponsor? I had the opportunity, and it was a pleasurable experience to talk to the owner of your team, CR Mindset, and it seems like you guys have a pretty solid team over there. What can you tell me about it?
Yeah, it's a really, really good team. My sponsor treats me well. Recently, listening, he listens to me. He takes in my advice. He helps out the community and our players a lot. Recently picked up one of my really good friends in the Skullgirl community, the Kill Sage, which is like, he's like one of the first very few Skullgirl sponsors. Skullgirl players that got sponsored. So I love what he does for us. Oh man, like Knox for a better sponsor right now.
Cool. Anything else you want to talk about that we didn't ask you about?
No, not really. You guys had a lot of good points.
Sonic, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
You're an upstanding young man, and we hope to see more guys like you, and we hope you inspire more new blood to come into the scene. Continue to kick ass in fighting games, buddy.
Thank
All
you.
right, Sonic. Thanks, man.
No problem, man.
Shout-outs to SonicFox for being on our show, and also I wanted to thank, of course, we were playing a replay during this. It was Team Spooky replay. Shout-outs to him. He gave us permission to use that replay. Guys, your thoughts on SonicFox?
I think, and honestly, he's a high school kid doing this well.
17 years old, in case we didn't put that out.
We've had multiple opinions on whether it makes it easier or harder, but either way, it's insanely impressive. The way he handled the questions about, the Reddit trolling and stuff like that, just kind of shows, I guess, the progressiveness of the new generation. I know this is a fighting game show, but
exactly.
I don't know, it kind of wowed me.
Yeah, it's impressive. I like seeing that kind of thing. Again, we're talking fighting games, but there are people playing these fighting games.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Of course.
Now, speaking of these people, Perfect Legend, right? Let's talk a little bit more about him before we finish this topic. We had Ryan Harvey on the show last week, the owner of Arcade UFO, Fubar Duck, and he's been in the fighting game community for a really long time. And he talked about that knee-jerk reaction to want to say, this is a kid. I'm not going to lose to a kid. And, the anxiety that potentially is produced by that. But Ryan Harvey pointed out that how many of these guys that are legends right now, Justin Wong and others, started off at that age.
Right.
Is this a young man's game?
I mean, in a way, yes. We've talked about this a little bit. You probably have a little more time, at least in the high school years, to play the games. And it's a good time to learn. You get more time, obviously, as you get better. And I know he's only going to get better in the coming years. So it definitely works out that way.
Okay. Well, we have come to the end of round 2.
I just wanted to... Has Perfect Legend said anything about the first
Where
since
is
then?
Perfect Legend?
We'll find out. We'll reach out to him. Might be in a morgue, but we'll get to him and ask him how he feels about how that went down. It seemed like he was a good spirit. I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. It's not like he's no longer a competitive player. He's still sponsored by Razer. He still can beat all of us at Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a long career, and that guy has won EVOs. He's won World Cyber Games. He's won all kinds of tournaments and for various games. So, I mean, we're having our fun with it, but come on, the guy's still an imperfect legend.
I do want to say one thing.
Lay it on
is
us, Ray.
that, even Xian lost to Daigo 10-0.
That's right. You were pointing that out. The whole 10-0 thing happens.
And it was kind of funny on Twitter. You see Xian messaging Markman and Perfect Legend, like, guys, stop making fun of him. He's only a human too. You guys should be friends.
I couldn't tell if Xian was actually like standing up for Perfect
PTSD
Legend
or trolling.
or trolling.
I'm
like,
not sure
laying
either,
on.
but I like to take it that he was trying to be like a good human. Like, come on, guys, it happens.
Yeah.
You lose 10-0 or you lose 13-0 sometimes, but
I guess the difference, of course, is that Xian, I think, went into a more friendly match than the shit talk
Exactly.
fest
Exactly.
of
That's the
Perfect Legend
difference.
SonicFox.
One is getting 10-0'd and being like, man, That's embarrassing. The other is having talked all that shit prior to the 10-0, which obviously makes you a target. And, as far as I'm concerned, opens you up to be made fun of. Again, that was the end of round 2, our interview with SonicFox. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to take a super, super short break just so that we can set up the PS4 and our compadre over here, future bearded Ryu cosplayer Michael Danke Schiller, will be showing us a thing or two with Ryu.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to go over a couple things, some of his better current combos, which obviously are going to be changed with the game coming out, and some setups that I've found.
Excellent. I hope that you get a match and that you show us what you got.
Yeah, and bear with me, guys. I'm not playing on an Asus monitor here, but I think I'll be able to do some stuff.
Log on now to play Mike.
All right, so just bear with us for a split second. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Have you pre-ordered your copy of Street Fighter V yet? Beta tests are no longer the only incentive. I'm Efren Salinas, and this is the QuickCast. Check it out, guys. New dresses for our dolls. I mean, new DLC costumes for our combatants. In a move that surprises no one, Capcom has announced the first series of DLC for Street Fighter V and its battle-themed costumes. Look, there's Cammy with her battle goggles and battle utility belt, and Ryu with his battle beard, and who can forget Chun-Li with her battle silk dress. Also announced was the $100 Street Fighter V Collector's Edition, complete with all the standard fare, art book, soundtrack, cool Ryu statue. But what caught my eye was that every copy of Street Fighter V comes with 1 free month of subscription to the Capcom Fighters Twitch channel. Looks like Capcom wants to beef up their Capcom Pro Tour viewing audience. For the best in esports news and analysis, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and watch us live on Twitch and YouTube Gaming.
I'm here with Dominique Mclean, arguably the favorite to win the EVO Mortal Kombat X tournament. Guy's been on an absolute tear lately. How do you feel after a long day of matches?
I feel well. I finally made it out in the top 8 losers, but I lost to my friend and somebody I'm also sponsored with, Honeybee. But I'm still feeling really confident I can run it all the way back against.
A lot of people are coming here trying to earn prestige, trying to earn cash for themselves. You just picked up $60K not that long ago. How do you manage to stay focused on the competition when you had so much success already?
It's just a matter of keeping it level-headed. As long as I'm calm, focused, and have a goal, I know I can accomplish anything.
One thing that really stands out about you is a lot of people in there are trying to learn one character. They're trying to perfect them, yet you've brought, 3 different characters so far to the competition. What is it about you or how you train or your personality that allows you to learn so many characters and play them at a high level?
I just look at characters, and certain characters make sense to me immediately like that, and some certain characters don't. So the characters that do make sense to me, I'm like, I wonder how they vary in other matchups, and I feel those other characters have better matchups than the other ones. I'll just resort to the other ones. Yeah.
We've already seen your Katana, and we've already seen your Aaron Black. Is there another secret character you're waiting to bust out in the top 8?
Predator, it's like, nah. I would use Predator, but he's banned at EVO, so no, not really, no.
You've already won $60K. You're only 17 years old. A lot of people dream of that success at some point in their career. You've already reached it. What's next for SonicFox when you've already peaked at such a young age?
I think what's next for me is going to pick up Killer Instinct. I've always planned on picking that game up. I like how the new character Arya looks. I mean, who knows? I might stay with the game, I might drop it. But after EVO, I finally get a break. And yeah, all the competitions are going to be over. And it's time to just chill, become a casual gamer for a little bit until Season 2 of the ESL starts. And we're in there.
The furries, you can't get around the blue hat. Does that sort of, your entourage, your sort of personality is larger than life, does that fuel your confidence when you go into the matchup?
No, it's just like I like furs a lot, and then I was like, all right, so I don't want to get a whole, I will eventually maybe get a fursuit, but right now.
Oh, we're back. And this is some Street Fighter V action brought to you by future bearded Ryu cosplayer Michael Danke Schiller. Ryu versus Ryu? You going to beat up on yourself?
I just figure I don't really know the differences between the hurt boxes so far yet, so I'll just figure I'll pick Ryu for the sake.
Mike, you've been playing this for a while, right?
Played a decent amount of matches.
Ryu obviously is no brainer. Let's start with Ryu because if at EVO when we were talking to if you went to the Street Fighter V panel that the Capcom Street Fighter V team put on, Combofiend, Matt Dahlgren, and others, they had this really cool diagram or showing you their design philosophy. Start with Ryu and then just tweak them in different directions.
Oh God, I think I have the
man.
wrong buttons.
Well, make it work,
Oh,
dude.
my
Do
Lord.
it live, buddy.
I think I have the wrong buttons because I tried that fierce off of that and it was not working.
Uh-oh. All right, well, let's see what happens. But Ryu, if you want to learn the game, and if you're new
I can
to
win
Street
with only
Fighter-
medium punch, I think.
All right, well, let's see it. So Cammy's pretty interesting. Ray, what do you think of Cammy?
She's beautiful.
Dude, that's what you said
She looks a
about
lot
Okay.
more European
Yeah.
than normal. I mean, it's still definitely
But
anime,
about the
but
game, Cammy is a reset monster machine.
You notice that her drill, which used to hit low, now
Uh-huh.
does not. You can block stand that. All right,
Right.
buddy. You better not.
I'm gonna jump back
lose
fierce
point.
to make sure my fierce button is working, and if it's not, we're gonna go from there.
It's a shame we don't have bearded Ryu now. But Ryu.
No, it's a roundhouse. My fierce is a roundhouse.
Okay, Ray.
Okay, it's all right. I can DP.
All
get your
right.
commentate
So
on.
we got Mike getting the spacing, trying to zone out with the fireballs, test out Cammy, see what she's doing. And this Cammy, doesn't
Oh, I don't
punish.
have a fierce.
Oh,
Okay, we're
but
only.
Mike
pressing
doesn't
medium.
have buttons,
We're
so
only
he
pressing
can't
medium
punish. And Cammy, what the main thing she wants to do is just get you into the situations where you're forced to block everything or try to. And I think, right now, Mike's doing all right with the wrong buttons.
I kind of wanted training mode. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
just to get everything out. It's kind of hard to talk about that. But, okay, you got
yeah,
the,
I mean,
got the anti
one of the big problems I'm going to mention right now with the beta is that the matchmaking is pretty weak to the point where no matter how high up you get, you're going to play versus anyone, and a lot of the people playing the beta are new. So if you just walk back and forth in DP when they jump, you're going to win most matches. Like, I'm only pressing pretty much one button here because my fierce is not working, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, Ryu is, I believe, the strongest character in the current iteration of the game, but they're all honestly seem pretty cheap so far. I mean, I don't think anyone's really complained about anyone sucking. Ryu's got a lot of crazy setups, and I think what makes him so strong is his V trigger, which once I change my buttons, I will show off.
All right, what do you mean by cheap in this game compared to what?
What do you mean?
Like compared to Street Fighter 4, what would you call cheap in that game and cheap in this?
In this game, cheap is the fact that damage is insanely high compared to
Didn't we
Street
have
Fighter
Alex
4?
Valle on explaining to us why it's actually equal the damage, the comparable combos?
I think he's wrong in a
Okay.
sense. But at the same time, yes, it's the Oki in Street Fighter 4 was so much better that even though the combos did a little less damage, typically it didn't seem to matter as much.
Okay, so I'm going to read from the chat. Naughty Senpai 69 says their design philosophy based off bull crap. The new Street Fighter 5 is continually Street Fighter.
Totally. I could not disagree more if I had a million more mouths. Ryu has a fireball game. He has a parry that lets him dominate that fireball game. And at the same time, he has plus frames. He has ridiculous setups. I mean, he can be a rushdown character. He can be a setup character. He can be a ranged character.
Is this the best Ryu you've ever played?
I mean, there's like hyper fighting, but he's certainly up there. Yeah, he's the most varied. They kind of took his like heavy hitting third strike thing and gave it a lot more. So I'll go back
Change
to
your buttons. Yeah, change your
yeah. I'm
buttons.
gonna press more than 2 buttons this time.
So not only do you think Ryu is just so versatile, but I mean you can also change him from no beard to beard.
You can also grow him a beard, which is more
Yeah, I
important.
mean how versatile is that?
Anyhow, going into Ryu right now. Now they mentioned in the newest patch they're taking out light to medium combos, but one of the most relevant things about Ryu, as I said, once I get these buttons,
Do you think his
light
V
punch
trigger should
me,
be grow a beard?
Well, let's
Okay.
talk about his
It takes him
V
off, yeah,
trigger a
go
little
back to
bit.
doing that.
Okay, so now I got my buttons.
All right,
How do I confirm this? I gotta
go to
Start.
Start,
there you go.
yeah.
So I got a fierce now. So Ryu can link from his dab to his strong, which is insanely strong, and is strong to almost anything.
I mean, you can do that in Street Fighter 4. Right?
Yes, but then what he can also do is he can link from his
Fierces.
close
Wow.
roundhouse to his jab.
All right.
So his optimal combo ends up being like something like this, which only works on standing. And then
That
if
did a
they're
lot of damage.
yeah, if they're crouching, you can go into like this. You
He's
can
already
go into various things. You can sweep.
You know, okay, go ahead.
One other thing to note is that off his down fierce, he can V trigger and then link.
Okay.
So you can do that. And then finally, the other most important thing I would say about playing new Ryu is that after super, if I can do it on this monitor, you can actually V-trigger and then charge a fireball that is guaranteed to either guard break them or hit them as they get up. There's no way out of that without an invincible move, and any invincible move can be punished there. And that guard break is pretty insane.
So if you do your V-trigger, power your dukes, and do a charge fireball, it crumples no matter what.
Fully charged fireball will guard break them. They'll blow back.
Okay.
And so you can combo another fireball off that from full screen. From close screen, you can do really crazy combos. Even off his super will guard break without any charge. And with that, mid screen you get a sweep, in the corner you can get a combo. There's a lot of crazy stuff. If he's in V-trigger right now, one of the most broken things about him is he can DP you, cancel it into a super for a guaranteed guard break, and then combo it. And so you can't blocking the super isn't a bait. Like, you got baited.
Wow.
By blocking. So it's a little goofy.
Do you think it's fair for that to stay in the game? Or you think
No, it totally goes against, I think, what they had with the rest of the game. No, it's a lot of meter. It's not totally broken. You need to have V-trigger. You need to have super. You don't get a lot off of it mid-screen, but it's a little much, in my opinion.
See what you can do. Now you have your button.
Cammy's been really popular online. Yeah, I've got my Fierce button now.
So they talk about Cammy not having a lot of hard knockdowns, which is the reason why she's such a reset monster machine. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, her throw doesn't give you a lot of advantage, and so you're kind of forced to play a more reset-heavy game.
I've been getting blown up trying to do wake-up dragon punches like
one thing about Cammy is that her heavy dragon punch can link off her pokes, giving her like the ability to
kick your ass on stream.
Yeah, to kick my ass on stream. I mean, it's really hard to play on this monitor, but yeah. So off of her standing medium punch and other various things, she can actually link, not cancel, her heavy dragon punch to a combo.
Wow. How's the input leniency in this?
Very, very good, and there's a buffer window that's huge.
So for people watching the show that are from the general esports world and not necessarily from fighting games, what do you mean by buffer windows? And
it means that every time you press a button, you're gonna have 3 frames where it will come out after, which makes everything a lot easier. And I could have done a much better thing there.
What? How did that? You know what I like is seeing the stun bar on the screen. What do you feel about the stun bar?
You're seeing her V-trigger combos get shown off?
I mean, stun bar is nice to have. It definitely lets both of y'all know for sure.
I think it's a fun mind game.
Yeah.
Okay. What other characters do you like in this game so far? In the beta, of course, they've announced.
You know, I thought I was gonna play Charlie, but I don't really love him so far.
It's Nash. We gotta use the right terms. It's Nash. It's no more Charlie. He's dead.
Oh my lord.
And he's got his Frankenstein face on. You know, we were talking about the costumes earlier. Bearded Ryu. People have been wanting Bearded Ryu for a long time because how many Street Fighter tournaments has this guy competed in, and he still hasn't, reached that Gokhan level of weird awesomeness. Dude, that guy just minted that to you. What's up with that?
What's up with me losing?
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
The 3-frame buffer window isn't enough for the. I don't know. I don't want to complain. I don't want to complain too much, but yeah. One thing that's going on right now, obviously a lot with an early online game, is DPs are going to be very strong. We don't know exactly what block string. So off a jumping medium kick, one actually nice thing about this game as opposed to Street Fighter 4 is you saw him blow me up for it over and over again, and I tried to do it to him but couldn't get the DP to come out. Is you're not going to block string as easily off of a jumping medium kick. You're really going to need the roundhouse to get enough frame advantage to block string afterwards. And obviously, if you're not block stringing, you're not getting the same amount of, safety because they can DP through it.
DP is Dragon Punch or Shoryuken for anybody who's Ray, this is your first time seeing the beta live. What do you think of it?
I mean, I'm enjoying seeing Mike getting bodied. No, but the game looks crisp. It looks beautiful. It does look a little. I mean, compared to Street Fighter 4, which is what I started off on and grew up playing, this looks completely different, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like, it looks fun. I haven't seen damage this big since Hugo, which is, I mean, pretty fairly new anyways. I mean, then again, the very first iteration of Street Fighter 4 had heavy damage as well. So I'm wondering if this one will kind of, shape out to be the same way.
Mike, explain what you're doing here. You were discussing it earlier, now you're demonstrating.
So yeah, so he can cancel his DP into a super, and then yeah,
it's gonna happen. I saw you do it.
This is a battle right now on this monitor, but
okay, there it is.
So after that, that'll guard break automatically, and then you can link a sweep mid screen. It's on auto block, so obviously that linked in the corner, you can get a better combo than that. If you manage to like trick them somehow, and this isn't gonna be easy, you can get anything off that.
Wow.
So you can get, and that leads into anything you want. One of the weird things about this game right now is the scaling, in my opinion, is a little off to the point where it's always optimal. Like I'll try to turn on damage right now to kind of add as many hits as you can.
Oh shit!
So like that does 280, but if you add a jab, it does 293. And in most games, they try to like kind of steer you away from adding little hits like that. But for now, that's what it does. Do we want to check this message? I don't even know how to do that.
Hit up, hit right again. Okay, check it. Should be at the top.
You should not provoke me with the teabag.
GG though. Okay, hit the home button, and then just go back into it.
Mike with the bad manners.
Hey, you should.
So, are there any
not
questions?
have
Like,
teabag.
what do you have? I like other things where you can do. I've mostly labbed more so than played in training mode. Obviously, jump medium punch has always been a juggle, and he has like varying degrees of combos off that.
I heard you can even combo like big damage into super from Fierce Kick on anti-air.
Fierce Kick crush counter. Well, first I'll show you this if I can ever get it.
Nice.
So that'll miss right now because I pressed the wrong. Oh no.
Oh dang.
So yeah, so you can link that in the corner. You can actually get both hits of the Tatsu, and do the same combo. You can link the EX Dragon Punch if you just do the medium punches. So he's got a lot of damage in a lot of situations.
What's the difference? Okay, so for me it used to be a Fireball and a Dragon Punch, or an EX Fireball and an EX Dragon Punch. You can still do that in this game, but you can also power those up further, right? What changes between an EX when you're in dungeon mode and when you're not?
So the Fireball you can charge
Okay.
to either get a guard break or faster or more hits. Like two slightly charged regular Fireball will do 2 hits. Fully charged will guard break. Charged EX Fireball will guard break. The DPs do more damage.
Okay.
It's not too complicated with Ryu. I don't believe Tatsumaki changes.
Okay. Because his feet aren't, electrified. Let's see you do work on this birdie, man. I got blown up. I was using Cammy and I did a spin knuckle. I was trying to, which is her V skill, and his chain grab, which grabs you if you're not blocking. Grab you right out of that.
Good DP. I got baited.
All right, another thing I want to talk about is a lot of people have been saying this game is very jump heavy. How do you respond
Jump
to that?
heavy?
I mean, it depends on your character. I mean, I'll try to display it. If obviously Ryu has a DP, which makes it insanely hard to jump at him. And if you are to land a counter hit anti or fierce, you can do a lot of damage. I try to do
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, interesting.
And one thing that people aren't really doing a lot is V trigger is pretty much always worth burning.
Because it recharges. I mean, it's gone at the end of the round, right?
So
this
I
guy
thought you
is
build your V-trigger meter by absorbing or doing the parries.
Parries help you build V trigger. Taking damage helps you build
Like a
V
revenge
trigger.
gauge? Let's
Yeah, I
test
think
it.
it's taking damage.
Oh,
and,
that gave you a lot of
doing your
V-trigger.
V skill. So some characters are a lot better at building it than others. Like Ryu's V trigger is good versus fireballs. Generally, it's kind of hard to use outside of that. Yeah, and you're just seeing what you can throw in between a jump medium kick and a move a lot of the time. Like it's
Really? Huh.
it's a lot different than it has been.
Naughty Senpai 69 is chiming in again. He says it's not jump heavy at all. Anti-airs are great in this game. It's just that people online suck at it.
That's
totally
probably
agree.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a jump so I can anti-air him with the roundhouse, but it might not happen.
Man, I'd never realized how beautiful this game is.
It looks good, right?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how the rest of the characters roll out. Keep playing, guys, but we are approaching the end of our show. Round 3 was, instead of tournament analysis, was actual game analysis.
So yeah, I wish we had a training mode so I could go on.
It's crazy, right? Like, it's just... They should have a training mode. I wish there was a way that you didn't have to be online. You could still get in. You have to be online. And the point of the beta is to test the online functionality of the game. So that's why they don't let you just lab it up in the training room. But you know what? Let's play until you feel like not playing anymore. How about that?
It's up to the people. I mean, yeah.
Let's see if you guys want.
If anyone has any questions, I swear, I mean, my gameplay is not showing it, but I swear I know a decent amount about the character. If anyone wants any combo questions or
if you want Twitch
to tell
turbos,
me anything,
the Twitch turbos are coming.
I wish I could give you a Twitch turbo.
So, Blue Tech 809 wants to know: can every character parry or just Ryu and V-trigger?
So Ryu in regular, he can press medium punch and medium kick, which is a universal V skill to do a parry. Now, I can't show you him attacking, but what the parry will do is take their attack,
Like
absorb a hit,
it, exactly.
and then he's able to cancel the recovery into another parry, or if the move they did is slow enough, he can just punish them afterwards for that, and that builds V-trigger.
Now, you're hitting medium punch and medium kick, which in Street Fighter 4 would be a focus attack.
Right.
Basically, focus attack is replaced with the character's unique individual V-trigger or V-skill.
And these vary heavily. I mean, you have the
Exactly.
parry, you have Armika's microphone. Those are both parry-ish. But I mean, Bison has a fireball reflect. Charlie has a poke.
Birdie eats.
Birdie eats
And
or
this is the
throws
thing,
something behind
what's
you.
cool about it, if you hit his V-skill, he'll eat something. If you hit back in V-skill, he eats a banana and throws it on the floor, which you can trip your character. It's almost like getting hit by Dudley's Rose. It just like stops you. And down and V-skill will throw that energy drink across the floor as a projectile. So even within the unique V-skills, there's variation depending on button presses. Ryu's is just the parry though.
Right, and that's part of like, because at first it kind of looked, this is this is the laggiest one yet.
He's a Saiyan god.
We're getting some rollback. Very nice to mention. They got the GGPO
the
rollback
netcode, right?
idea going
Explain
on.
what GGPO and rollback is.
So GGPO is good. I don't know. It's an acronym of some sort, and
But it's a netcode, right?
it's was made by the Cannon brothers who help run Evo, and it is a netcode that uses rollback to make it so that instead of there being input lag, the game has both clients kind of decide what's going on, and then they agree later on what happened.
I see.
So it ends up being a lot less laggy. It's little less pretty, obviously, because things flip around and weird stuff happens. You see Cammy's hair tweaking out. But as a competitive player, it makes the game a lot more playable.
I want to say that they have a new proprietary. Let me see here. I'm trying to find if I can pull up where they talked about it. But it is very similar to GGPO, but I want to say this is unique to Street Fighter 5.
I think so. I think they've done a new system. You saw there an example of GGPO. My medium punch looked like it was blocked on my screen, but then it actually ended up hitting her.
I see.
That's only going to happen in the most extreme of lag situations where the games are so far apart on both ends, like the two players' connections, that it really doesn't know what happened, but...
You know, it's crazy. We're talking about the netcode and things.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter 5 next year is likely going to have online tournaments. In fact, it's been all but announced. You know, it's been teased left and right. Would you play a tournament online? I mean, our friend Panda from Panda X Gaming has done good work on those online tournaments, and they're well attended. And the of course the benefit is that you can get anybody to play as long as they're available. They don't have to fly to a physical location. But then you see shit like that where it looked like my medium punch was blocked, but it actually hit. That kind of thing. How do you, do you put an asterisk next to that win if you win a tournament, but it was all lagged out? Do you play it again? Do you wait for cloud cover? I mean, what the heck do you do?
I mean, most tournaments like that, like the Panda tournaments, I believe Panda always has someone posting the game where they can watch and they determine. So kind of like always on the spot coach, like guide referee. And you know, those matches also are on his stream as well, so those can be replayed and saved. For these online tournaments, I don't see anything wrong with it at the moment, just because, I mean, first, let's let them try it out, see how it works. And second, with Capcom bringing in the in-game money and like a lot of things, even for Street Fighter 4, where they had like prize titles and things like that, where you could only get by winning these tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Which is like the ultimate bragging right if you can.
I mean, 2D God is pretty cool. I won't lie. But you see, they're taking little steps, and I think that's what I like about Capcom right now. That's going to help them prepare to make a big hit with this. You saw Mortal Kombat ESL, the ups and downs of that, the pros and cons. So it's just really up to them to figure it all out, make sure it works, make sure people are happy. I mean, they're listening to the community. I mean, what else would we have Armika?
Exactly, right? You know, you were talking about the fight money that's in this game. Like built-in fight money, basically, you can earn characters, future characters, and potentially cosmetic DLC, potentially.
Yeah.
Via fight money. That to me is really cool. And we were talking about the costumes. People in the chat here are saying that they're really digging the costumes. Right here, EMP NRS netcode says, I'm feeling these pre-order bonus costumes though.
Yeah, they're really cool.
They all look very appealing to me. EMP NRS netcode, which is your favorite so far?
I kind of wish that they were the default costumes.
The Ryu one for sure makes sense to be a default.
I'm a fan of when they kind of rework the characters a little bit. I think it's nice, but I mean, it's not.
I mean, people were going crazy over Ken's new look.
Well, I mean, that looks to me like that would be...
I kind of wish they did that for everyone, though. Exactly, like Cammy was new. And
But the thing is Ryu is the poster boy. You can't make him that's like changing Mario. You
I
know?
mean, they have, though. There's Dr. Mario. There's
Like, what if
Mario
they shaved
Tennis,
Mario's
there's-
mustache? Like, is that still Mario?
No,
the one
okay,
that we
good
all
point.
knew?
what they should get Hot Mario, dude, with the beard.
Hot
No, they should
Mario
give
with
him,
the
like,
body?
stubble and, give him, like, a pencil mustache or something and get real hipster on him.
I've seen
work.
girls are talking about Ryu. And
Yo.
boys. Everyone's talking about Ryu. I'm talking about Ryu.
Somebody call Kotaku, man, because there was an article on Kotaku about just that. Oh, Ryu, did you forget your razor? I'm not mad.
I'm not mad.
The dude's a
Oh,
hunk. The
man.
dude's a hunk, for sure. It was about that time. I mean, the girls look very pretty. Why not make the guys look very handsome?
He looks
What
pretty
happened with
mad.
Birdie?
So, EMP, with Birdie, maybe they can give him a trim.
I noticed his hair looks less dark.
You're talking
And
about
it's
Ryu?
shaggier.
You're talking about Ryu?
Yes, with the beard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks here. He looks a little more anime, like spiky.
Maybe they're breaking the cultural barriers.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
gotta
they're
be
trying
it,
to
of
do.
course.
Huh.
But damn,
So
this-
EMP NRS netcode says Ryu is my favorite. Duh, he's everybody's favorite. Then Bison, Cammy, and Chun in that order. I think I would agree with that. Bison's costume, though.
I don't like Bison.
Well, I mean, he's got like that leather trench coat, and
How do
he's
you
a
not?
dictator.
How do you not like Bison's costume? I don't understand that.
I like his facial hair. He looks cool with that goatee. But
Like he's an old man. He wants to, show off some style before it's his time.
yeah, that's what's up, man. Does everyone talk about Ryu? Asks Cove Van Love, or maybe Cove Van Love. Yeah, because Ryu's the hottest shit right now with that beard.
See, like here, you saw him get guard broken by the fully charged.
And but do they give you the opportunity to jump in or just?
No, you're gonna get an EX fireball.
Okay.
Is basically what you're gonna get off of that, which is
If somebody's blocking and you guard crush them with that fully charged Denjin EX Fireball, does it have to be EX to do the guard crush?
you can do regular, but it takes a lot longer
You
to
just
charge.
have to charge it.
Okay.
Basically, you're never gonna fake someone out with regular. That's gonna have to pretty much be a setup.
Okay, so the question is, if you're in Denjin mode and you do the EX charge Fireball that does guard break, how does the damage work out? Does it look like a block damage?
I'll be honest, I haven't tested that. I'm guessing it does not scale at all unless they programmed it to. So I'm guessing because it doesn't show up as a combo, you get the full damage off of guard breaks. It's nasty stuff.
Carnage 2015 is asking, who's the best player among
Oh
everyone
my
at
goodness.
the studio?
We even have to ask.
I think, and I'll so that you guys don't talk too much shit. I would say the tier list here is Danke, Ray, and then myself in that order, depending
It
on the
just
game.
depends on the game.
Depends
yeah.
on the game, yeah.
I'm definitely not a Street Fighter player from what people know. I'm Marvel and anime were what I kind of started playing with.
In Street
Got
Fighter
top
4,
32 at Evo once in Marvel.
That's right. Yep. There was that famous smiling and giving the peace sign to the camera. But Ray, in Street Fighter 4, I think you're the one to beat in this room.
My biggest accomplishment is making it out of Daigo's pool in 2012.
Did you face Daigo?
No, but I made it out
Somebody
of
else
the
did,
pool.
okay? And I saw it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I once went 1 and 3 at our local Rambat at Arcade UFO.
So interestingly, like there's recovery and there's back recovery. There's very little hard knockdown in this game to the point where I believe it's only actually supers.
Okay.
And that while Ryu can normal recover off of a throw, he can't back recover. He can only normal recover. It's kind of strange, but he can back recover off a sweep. So the rules are a little wonky. normal recovery works in more situations. Off a super, he cannot recover in any special way, which is why you get guaranteed stuff like that.
Okay.
Wow. EMPNRS Netcode asks, any of you guys Virtua Fighter fans?
Oh god.
Would you like to see another one, or is it too late for Sega? It's never too late for Sega. Sega made the right moves. They, stopped making consoles and went the video game route, which is what people have been asking Nintendo to do for a long time, but I hope they don't. I mean, unless they want to stay around.
What is that like? Oh, the back and forward walking animations are really bad right now. I think
let's
they need
see.
to fix that.
I've actually heard some stuff that Ryu's forward dash is actually pretty fast.
It is. It's very fast. It's uncharacteristic.
How does that help with his footsies game?
So, I mean, he has options. I mean, like, running forward and parrying is a big risk, but throwing is very fast in this game. From what I've heard, Ryu has a Kara throw. Yeah, it looks like
it looks like it.
They've all been patched out. If I understand the latest build.
Oh,
the
they did?
latest build is patching out, but right now he has a Kara
Correct.
throw. Kara
And-
throw, for anyone who doesn't
Exactly.
know, is in the earliest frames, like the first frame of a move, you can still cancel into throw. That's programmed in the game so that if you press a bunch of buttons at once, you can get what you want.
The best example is in Street Fighter 4. Ken's probably has the best range on a car grab. He does his step kick. You can cancel it into
And
a grab.
if you're on the first frame, you cancel into a throw. They'll get the first frame of animation on their move, cancel into a throw. Now, normally characters don't move that much, but if they like fly forward instantly when they do the move, sometimes Kara-ing that, which is empty in Japanese, with a throw, will give you additional range.
Cool. So can you just try, for the sake of the stream, to pop that into the... there it is.
Whoa.
So
First attack.
basically, you can be slightly further away and still get the grab.
Exactly.
That's what that translates to. Yo,
See, now he did there is he parried my fireball and he gains a bunch
Here,
of V
he
triggers
gains a
for it.
whole bunch
parry
of-
one of his.
I'm just trying to see if he can do a fireball to me.
Oh no, just.
No, I'm just trying to parry.
So I know you're playing right now, Mike, but generally, how do you feel Ryu should be played?
In this game, as I said, there's a lot of options. I think in the iteration that I am playing at this moment, he's a setup character, dude. His V trigger is ridiculous. Like, you just get way too much. But in this game, he does a lot of damage, and he has a fireball, so I think he's kind of a patient character who looks for openings, you know? You throw your fireballs, you get damage off DPs, but you don't want to zone forever. If you see an opportunity to jump and get it blocked, where you can start your offense, then you should do it. And your heavy punishes are going to be really big. He's one of two characters with a regular DP right now, just him and Kenny. So he's got a lot going for him. A lot of people think he's the best character.
So right now, there aren't too many other fireball zoning heavy characters, but do you think he has the tools to deal with that? Just because of his
Parry for
Parry
the
will gain so much V trigger.
Yeah.
Like right there, you gain like, wow, that was like a third of a bar.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you're already almost done.
Yeah.
So I mean, but other characters that have fireballs in this game: Nash, Chun, to a degree, Bison.
Bison's is a little bit weird, but yeah, you could say that. But I'm trying to focus on like maybe let's say the Sagat that will hopefully eventually come out, or a similar character like that, or Ryu in Street Fighter 4 has always had problems with characters like Dawson. You know, how will that, and Blanca, how will that transition to here, where it's completely different Ryu, but you have the tools to be offensive or defensive. So I just want to see how.
Well, Dawson's not in the game, so at least not
Well,
yet.
yeah, but there's a lot of characters I want in this game.
Yo,
Still autopiloting old stuff.
Domon Cashew 13 is doesn't want to go down easy.
Yeah, I guess not.
So Mike, what's your favorite thing about this game so far?
I've said it a couple times. The variation in the characters, they're all so different, which was one of my biggest problems with Street Fighter 4 game that I'm not thrilled with.
Yo, here in the chat, people are calling up all kinds of old school games. I'm not sure how this happened, but people want these games back. They're talking about Clay Fighter. That's a classic. I played that back in the day.
Yo, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm the best Clay Fighter 63 and a third player
my
in the
God.
entire universe.
Really?
Yes.
No better Clay Fighter players exist.
Not one.
I want to say there was a tease for a return of Clay Fighters.
I heard about that.
That was a
Yeah.
couple years ago, wasn't it?
So Clay
Yeah.
Fighter 63 and a third, we're just going to nerd out a little bit right now, is a game with Killer Instinct-esque auto doubles and linkers, etc. except that you can link off of the linkers with normal moves. So Bad Mr. Frosty has a kind of Balrog dash punch move called Snowblower, is what he says.
Yeah.
You can link jab, 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 cancel Snowblower, and this is an extremely easy infinite.
Why aren't we playing that game? Because it has infinites like that are broken?
It's over people's heads is what I like to think.
The other game people were asking about was Primal Rage. I remember sinking a lot of quarters into that one and playing as a gorilla and
So
Velociraptor.
fucking cool. Stegosaurus is one of my favorite animals.
Yo, there's a lot. I mean, there was that heyday back in the day when the arcades were still in full swing. I remember I would walk in. There was Mortal Kombat 2. There was Primal Rage, Tekken, the first Tekken. I remember seeing the first Tekken. I was like, holy shit, this game in 3D. A lot of these games, I think, could do work if they came back. Especially Street Fighter 4 brought back the fighting game scene, or at least, blew it up back to its bigger proportions. Of course, the fighting game scene has never died. Street Fighter 5 seems like it's in line to blow it up into the esports territory. And we'll see if that encourages more fighting games to come back.
The question I have is just whether or not there's staying power and whether or not the casual fans care as much.
Staying power in what regard? Like, people will stick with Street Fighter 5?
I don't know the math. I've never really looked that far into it. How important is the competitive scene in the sales? And you see Mortal Kombat's like the best-selling fighting game of all time or whatever. Mortal Kombat 10,
right?
I think they said recently. Got that.
Maybe the best-selling video game fighting game of all time, but certainly one of the best-selling games of 2015. And this was a big year for games. I'm not sure if this is a hint, but
that's not as popular as Street Fighter 4 even now, and it came out 5 years afterwards.
Mortal Kombat has a huge following. Like, I mean, everything from people who remember the nostalgia factor to horror movie fans. I mean, the fucking game had Jason in it and Predator,
right.
But let's see. Let's just speculate for a second here. The Street Fighter 5 game, when you buy your copy of Street Fighter 5, pre-order it. It's gonna come with 1 free month subscription to the Twitch.tv Capcom Fighters.
2 1 free month subscriptions.
2 1 free month subscriptions.
That's what I read.
Well, you might be right. I'll double check it. But what does that tell you about where they're going with where their audience is, basically?
I mean, they want people to tune in to Capcom Pro Tour.
Exactly.
They want to show them what you can do with this game.
So what that tells me is that the competitive scene does play a larger role than we have numbers to back up.
Well, I mean, all right. I mean, I don't like to do this, but compare it to sports. You have your different divisions of where you are. There's your local community. Okay, there's you at home playing by yourself, the single player mode. Everyone can do that. Then there's online play. Everyone has access to that if you have internet. And then there's your local gatherings. And it's just like these steps, like how far up do you want to go? And then how much exposure, like do you want to delve? You go to the local gatherings, you find out you're the best player, or you want to travel more. Like you get that little taste, and I think they want to expose this more.
Exactly. Seeing the streams, because before I really started getting interested, I was watching rematches on, what was his name? Shinakuma. This guy had like an endless,
the craziest Akuma setups.
But this guy, there was a guy who had a YouTube channel that was just constantly uploading the best replays from Xbox Live. That was what got me hooked. Seeing it, and I was like, wait a second, there's people in my neighborhood that are playing this stuff. But Toluca Freak, who I think I've seen on Reddit a couple of times, he says that 2 things. Series-wise, Street Fighter is the best-selling. Well, of course, they've had like 15 iterations of the game. And also he says that it is, in fact, 1 month of Capcom Fighters. So, Ray, get your facts straight, pal. Come on.
Yep, I guess I'll be on the couch forever.
Hey, dude, I just noticed that you're commenting on under my name over here. Pepito Hog Jr. is my Twitch handle, but my compadre Ray is the one you need over there. Yoga Flame 24 uploads a lot, correct. And Yoga Flame has picked up that slack, but it was originally Shinakuma as the guy back in 2010.
There was like Pikachu. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Pikachu Akuma posts a bunch of cool ones too, of course.
The Hill TV mentioned something I completely forgot about is the cross-play feature.
Exactly. We have here the High LLTV talking about the player base, because this is the first Street Fighter that'll have
with Steam and PlayStation 4, I believe.
But I wonder if that makes it the biggest player base, because you're cutting out the Xbox. What has a bigger Street Fighter 5 player base? Xbox owners or PC users is the question.
Definitely Xbox, I believe.
Exactly. So if you remove Xbox, because as we all know, Sony ponied up and it'll be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, at least for the consoles. Obviously, a lot more people have PCs.
The question is going to be what was originally most popular. Because at this point, the people playing Street Fighter 4 care enough that they'll play it on PS4, they'll play it on PC.
By the way, I've been playing Street Fighter 4 on the PlayStation 4, and I fought Dr. Smuggles PhD with my T-Hawk. Beat that guy. We can pull up the replay if we needed to, but we don't have to. Just take my word for it. But you're right. Everybody who cares is migrating to the PS4, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But
And in Japan, obviously, Xbox is not
Japan,
popular
Xbox. There was that I was going to mention as well, but I mean, I feel like Microsoft, I could be totally wrong in this, is just losing out on a lot of things. Like even what Call of Duty will be on PlayStation only. And
Yeah,
things like
I'm not really sure, honestly.
it seems like there's like this huge shift, and you know, Street Fighter for PlayStation 4, the big money that's going on behind the scenes as well. It just
I look
makes some more
forward to
sense.
seeing a Capcom Pro Tour for Street Fighter 5, to be honest. Because how exciting is it for me? I mean, yes, I love Street Fighter 4. I play it to this day. But it's so exciting when there's a new update, when there's new characters, and we're seeing new things, new characters. And of course, Street Fighter 5 is going to be nothing but that. So I'm pretty pumped. It's going to be some good tournament streams, y'all.
I keep missing the link, but yeah, you can link that. One weird thing is that, like they've said this, they've taken out all light to medium combos. So this, which is a big deal for Ryu, I mean, you haven't seen me doing it because it's...
So if they take those out, how are you going to get your damage now?
So if you land a jab and you can't link anything off of it, because I mean, right now you can do jab into sweep. Like, you can do anything you want. You're going to have to resort to what they added to this game that was not in Street Fighter 4, is you can cancel a move and then still cancel it into a special. Now, right now it's not linking, but...
You can do it with
You can do
crouch
it.
medium kick, I think works.
But I mean, you can actually link one jab into like there,
Uh-huh.
and this still combos if you
You
do
combo
it
there.
from really close, but I don't think it works from far. So it's going to be tough. I mean, he might have to do like down jab, DP. I'm really not sure because we haven't been focusing on it. But yeah, you're going to, off of jabs, you're going to have to go straight into special moves, which is a lot harder of a confirmation. It's less damage overall. It's weird. It's worse for block stringing. So they're trying to kind of get rid of some of the mindlessness by getting rid of the jab into fear. Strong. And people are used to that from Street Fighter 4, but in Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 2, you weren't doing 3 jabs into a strong move. I mean, you were doing a jab into a jab, maybe a jab into a special.
Right. In Street Fighter 4, I hate seeing light kick into something. It's like, it's not pretty. It's not...
No, I'm glad they're kind of getting away from that.
Mm-hmm. The idea that this is a callback to... Because at the end of the day, this is a sequel to a very popular game called Street Fighter 2. Right? So stripping it back to some of those roots. In your opinion, what are some of those things that have crossed over, or rather made a return that we've lost from Street Fighter 4 but brought back from Super Turbo days? Other than those easier, like shorter combos. so
The
to speak.
damage, I mean, because of the stun bar, getting in once or twice tends to typically mean a good amount more than it might in Street Fighter 2, except the Oki game is a little worse, so maybe I should eat my words. You know,
I mean, I played Super Turbo.
it's
I
not
played
too close to Super Turbo, but I'm not mad about that.
I played a lot of Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo, man, back in the day. And of course, at the time, I would do nothing but mash Dragon Punch, or rather, do sumo headbutts. So I didn't have the analytical mind then. Of course, I was a damn kid. So I wouldn't be the one to tell you. But I like hearing them say that because I wish that I had played those games. So here's my taste of it.
What's really sad is being so young, starting off with Street Fighter 4. I have no idea what you guys are talking about with Play Fighters or Primal Rage and these things.
I don't know why in my household, I have two older brothers, right?
Uh-huh.
And I guess since it would allow two of us to play and then the third one to play right after, we got fighting games. You can imagine it caused a lot of salty fights. I would use E Honda in the Super Nintendo. My brother would use Blanca. My other brother would use Guile. And man, we get salty at each other.
Honda, Blanca, Guile, the Charge Brothers, dude.
The Charge Brothers, you're right.
It's like a sitcom.
Axel Bro says this is more like Alpha or Third Strike than Super Turbo.
Yeah. Third Strike, I disagree, but Alpha a little closer. Third Strike is kind of its own beast, in my opinion. But
Third Strike was a very different kind of game, just all around.
So if you've played Third Strike, in that game you can hold back to block or press forward at the moment of impact from your opponent's attack to parry it. That's basically the exact same thing that Ryu can do as his unique V skill. In Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, every character can do that. In case you didn't get a chance to play it.
That's pretty.
Yep, now we're talking, dude.
Wait, so does a Hurricane Kick go through EX Dungeons?
It goes over fireballs.
it goes, yeah. It's
Even dungeons?
I think it's projectile invincible, so I assume
Okay.
so. Because it's not like going over it; it's like it's a property.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume that yes, it beats it, and it seems to be active like the fireball invuln like the entirety pretty much of the Tatsu.
All right, Danke, show us a little bit more. Let's get one more match in.
Okay. I mean, yeah, as I said, guys, like there's online lag, there's TV lag, so it's kind of hard to show off too much, but try my best. If anyone has any more combo questions, that I can do due to the buffer window. Buffer window is so good for online. Like even in some of these awful matches, I'm able to do a couple combos just because.
What was it?
I mean, it's so easy to fucking do.
It's like a 3-frame buffer window.
That's
right?
like his best combo that he can do meterlessly, and like it's just a cinch.
So we
I
have
say that
here
and miss it twice.
Nyagamun saying Ryu's V skill is a lot different than the parry. Your thoughts? Isn't it the parry?
Then in Third Strike?
I think that's what he's saying.
I think if he's referring to the Third Strike, then yes. Because in Third Strike, he instantly recovered from a parry. So essentially, if you parried anything, you could punish it. Now, I wish I could show it to you. If he gets hit, he doesn't recover instantly. He still has to he armors it, but he still has to come back to where he started.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. I believe you can cancel parry into parry, and I've heard you can cancel parry into DP, but without training mode, it's really hard to test that kind of stuff.
Right. And the worst part is you can't even hit up your friends in the lobby.
Yeah.
It's like completely random.
Another thing I'll mention about this game is how deliberate they are with designing stuff. Like Light Punch DP has no invuln, but it's 3 frames, so it's the fastest one. Medium Punch DP has invuln. Heavy Punch DP does the most damage. They're all different for a reason. Light Punch Tatsu lets you link like super and stuff, whereas medium Kick Tatsu recovers a little faster. Heavy Kick Tatsu goes really far, does most damage.
So each one has its own special property.
And even the normals, like Stand Light Kick is an amazing footsie tool now. Stand Jabs, but lets him link. Down Jabs, low and fast. Down Medium Punch is way more active and has a way better hurt box than Down Medium Kick. Stand Medium Punch links. I mean, there's just everything has a purpose. If he lands a counter hit Fierce, he goes into a weird special juggle state where you can't actually juggle anything except for the target combo.
Okay.
So that's what
now,
you get there.
explain target combos, because as I understand, they're like button presses that give you combos, and they're not the traditional combo of trying to get the timing.
It's kind of like a Tekken natural combo or a Tekken just chain, where basically, and a lot of things feel like target combos in this game.
That's what I was saying, because they feel a lot of
the
things
buffer
feel like
window
target
is so
combos.
easy, but I mean, basically, if you can see me you can just hit the buttons in a row and they'll come out. You don't have to time it really whatsoever.
All right, we're going into our last match.
This will be the last match. I'll try to talk a little less and do a combo this time. We'll see.
All right.
It'll be tough.
All right, let's see what you
I
do.
never want to evolve past beta test beginner because you got a little duck.
Oh, I want to keep that duck, man.
Yeah,
Please
but
do.
you automatically lose the duck if you win too much.
All right,
at home.
try to parry your fireball.
Oh, I'm a fighter now.
Damn it!
Fuck.
Oh, so you're blue and yellow Ryu?
I'm the yellow Ryu now.
All right, cool.
But there's no duck anymore.
Dude, my duck money. No, doesn't do anything for you.
Well, this gentleman's from Canada, so let's see how the internet is.
Oh, is he? You can
Alright.
see?
Round 1.
Sick.
Fight.
What can you tell you from Canada?
Oh, boy.
I think
okay.
he had like a
Throw a
flag.
fireball. There we go. Oh,
Oh no!
Fuck.
Oh no! Oh no!
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. There's
Even
no-
though you're
Look
not
at how
parrying
much-
it, look how much meter.
I've already
Yeah,
gotten. I've already gotten V trigger. He's just given me. I don't think he even knows. But he's a grandmaster. Oh man, my DP.
he knows.
he knows. Oh my goodness!
He gave
Mike,
it to me as a
as a free gift, candy caps right here. So when do you want to activate your V trigger?
Either in a combo or when you're about to lose. I mean, that is a metagame that hasn't really played out that hard. There are setups for it, so I imagine the places where it can be set up very well are going to be the places, so like where it's the best. But there you saw me do it in a combo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to jump
Like the
again
way
soon.
I'm thinking about it is, you know,
He's
if you're
got to
Ryu,
jump right now.
Boom!
So,
Nice reads. Those aren't ducky reads.
those are fighter reads as opposed to duck reads.
we evolve with our title.
Jump again.
So I like how you hit the sign up there.
We have guys here in the chat saying, let's see here, let me find it again. Master Guaha says, online is what made Street Fighter 4 for me. No other fighters compared. So there's people who, I mean, here we talk about esports and competitive gaming, but there are people who play this game solely online, they don't go to tournaments, and they get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Yeah. And more power to them, of course. Of course.
I mean, I think that was the biggest thing about Street Fighter 4 is you could play online. And, you know, the ranking system wasn't that great back then, but, I mean, it was something. It was at least a chance to play the game
I'm gonna try to get like a
and
guard
to play
break or
against all
something.
these people and these characters that you know, don't want to play just the computer against.
Right.
Against the computer, you know.
Yeah, this guy thought he was fighting a ducky, or a duck. He was fighting a fighter. Come on, Diabolic EX.
It's tough.
What's kind of cool is
We're
that
in that
in the background you see a
7 to
bus.
20 frame lag range right now.
It's that Canadian internet, man. It's not as good as our Capital Factory, Austin, Texas Ethernet internet.
Do you think Fei Long will be in this game? Because that bus in the background, it's like Fei Long new movie.
Oh, they say that, but then again, there was like, you know, they've had that in other levels, in other games, and not meant that the characters. But it would be cool. Ray, what character do you want to see in this game? Go.
Balrog.
Yeah, it begins and ends with Balrog, doesn't it?
You're gonna see
mean-
Karin probably next.
I hope not.
That's
No,
my-
what
I'm
about
just
that one
assuming.
like weird little like that one super
Oh,
obscure character?
combos.
Oh, Ingrid?
Is that who it was?
Is it the girl that they kind of like?
Some kind of weird little
Hinted at.
angel girl?
Yeah, Ingrid.
What's that all about?
She was in a Capcom Fighting Jam. Terrible game. That's
Yo.
a lot of fun.
Oh,
Oh, my
no,
DP.
DP.
no.
Oh,
Dude.
oh.
Come on. In on a win, Mike.
Oh my V trigger 3-hit fireball. Woo! I beat a Grandmaster, guys. What does
Saw
that
it.
make me?
Dude, the Grandmaster's papi, man, is what it makes you.
Look at this shit. Bam! He surrounds himself in ink.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I'm not sure.
That's actually his facial hair.
Oh,
You know,
really?
his beard hair.
It's
oh,
coming
his
to him.
beard.
So much-
That, does that like come onto his
yeah,
face?
it
and
freeze
then
frames
turns
early,
in-
but that's what built his beard. You didn't know?
it's made out of the ink of like dead bodies
Of Grandmasters, apparently.
That's pretty terrible.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. That was Street Fighter V Beta for round 3 of Best of 3. Michael, Danke, Schiller at the helm, putting in work.
I'm
with that
trying to
review.
grow out the beard just in celebration. It's not working that well, but the genes are there for it. I swear.
Once you get that beard, I want you to come in with the bandana, yellow or red. I'll
Oh,
leave it up
hell
to you.
yeah, dude.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us at Best of 3. We hope you enjoyed the interview with SonicFox. The VOD will be up on YouTube later, so if you missed any part of the show, you can check it out there. I'm your host, Ferenc Salinas, Michael Danke Schiller, Ryu Grandmaster Destroyer, and Radical Ray Chun sitting on the
couch guy.
timeout couch. People call it the VIP couch, some people call it the timeout couch.
It's really comfy.
It's comfy. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be here again next Tuesday.